negative results, or the results we don't want, are really just positive results in reverse. Think about that. The negative results in your life are simply positive results in reverse. See, we've got to stop thinking in reverse. So many of us take a look outside of us and we let our results control our thinking. We're literally thinking from the past. And then we create the future that is just more of the past. That's more of the same thing, right? And so you want to formulate the clear idea, and then you want to match a thought pattern, a word pattern, with the idea and the image that you're wanting to create. And what this is really is a picture painted in words. It's a picture painted in words. You've heard us talk about goal cards before. This becomes your word pattern. It becomes your thought pattern that you're planting into your conscious mind, and then nourishing with repetition and emotion to plant it into your subconscious mind, which is your universal mind. Okay, it's your access. Now here you're tuning into, and you're accessing universal intelligence when you do this. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. We're hopping on here live in this group here. I thought I would hop on and just share a little bit of additional information on this idea of contacting and tuning into universal intelligence so that we can take and move these ideas, these dreams, and these thoughts that we have into physical form. Right? Moving from that spiritual side, which is the non-physical, the thoughts that we have, and actually having them manifest in our life. And so I thought I would talk about 3 things that are necessary to tune into what you want, right? Now, let's understand that tuning into what you want is the exact same process, really. It's very relatable to just tuning in to a certain radio frequency or tuning in to any kind of frequency that we have here. I'm able to tune into someone's frequency on my phone and able to connect with them, right? Now, if you make a perfect match, then the result is inevitable. It must happen. But if it's not a perfect match, if we're not actually in alignment with it, then we get distortion, right? Like if you're halfway in between, a certain radio station and another one, you can kind of hear that one, you can kind of hear the other one, but it's not very clear, right? And so the more that we learn to bring ourselves in harmony with these universal laws, the more that we can prime our minds and match our minds to that universal law to make a perfect contact. Our job necessarily is not to gather more information, but to take the information that is being shared, that's already here, that's always available to you, and creating a greater awareness with it and asking yourself, how can I use that to get in harmony with the natural laws of the universe? Now, let's remember there's 2 types of laws that operate within our world here. We've got the man-made laws, and we've got what we call God-made laws or universal laws. And the man-made ones are really based upon belief systems. Okay. It's like a little kid, when they're young and they say, why do we do that? And the parent just says, I don't know, because, right? And the kid just doesn't understand it because they're man-made laws, right? And it doesn't make sense to the child's mind because they're so plugged into universal law, right? They're so in harmony with things. And so as we grow older, we tend to go a lot more with man-made laws than we do understanding the universal laws. So much so that the universal laws, even though they are so natural and so consistent, they begin to seem way out there. They seem to begin to get this idea that they're not real, or they just don't make sense, or they seem weird and odd. When the truth is they're so natural to our being, it's just we've become so disconnected to them. And so let's talk about those 3 things that you need to bring yourself in harmony with that and to literally tune yourself to what it is that you want. And the one exercise that you can start to employ to keep your faith with this, which is a huge thing to have when manifesting, right? Not just your thoughts, but it's your belief and the faith attached to the thoughts that really help you to manifest. So number one, and the three things necessary is to form a clearly formulated idea, right? You've got to get it clear in your mind as to what exactly it is that you're wanting to create. This is so incredibly important because we live in a world of consciousness. We live in a mental world. Let's understand that. And majority of this world is energetic. It's consciousness. And so if we want to really create change in the physical, we've got to go to consciousness. We've got to go to our minds. That's where the effort takes place. And the rest is just a natural expression and outspringing of what you've done in the mind. And so if we don't have a clearly formulated idea, if it's kind of vague and misty and doesn't have tangible things, see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What is it? All these things about it, then we send it out into the universe and we get a very vague and misty image back, right? This is the first step in tuning in to what you want. You tune into it through your thoughts, through the images that you hold in your mind. That's the first step. Second step now is to develop a word pattern to impress upon your subconscious mind. A word pattern. You see, it's your thoughts that create things, but it's the thoughts that you have on repeat. It's the internal dialogue that you have going on, this word pattern that was there for whatever reason, maybe at a very early age, that what you just accepted without being able to reject. Or maybe it's a word pattern that you developed in earlier childhood or later on in your teen years and then adult years that you just developed through an experience or conditions and circumstances, and then let your results control the way you thought, right? And so what we're doing here is we are flipping that. Negative results, or the results we don't want, are really just positive results in reverse. Think about that. The negative results in your life are simply positive results in reverse. See, we've got to stop thinking in reverse. So many of us take a look outside of us and we let our results control our thinking. We're literally thinking from the past. And then we create the future that is just more of the past. That's more of the same thing, right? And so you want to formulate the clear idea, and then you want to match a thought pattern, a word pattern, with the idea and the image that you're wanting to create. And what this is really is a picture painted in words. It's a picture painted in words. You've heard us talk about goal cards before. This becomes your word pattern. It becomes your thought pattern that you're planting into your conscious mind, and then nourishing with repetition and emotion to plant it into your subconscious mind, which is your universal mind. Okay, it's your access. Now here you're tuning into, and you're accessing universal intelligence when you do this. Don't just keep it up in the intellectual mind. That just becomes an intellectual game that you're playing with yourself. And you cannot manifest if you are just operating from an intellectual conscious level. You've got to allow yourself to get emotionally involved with this, right? What does it feel like? Impress that down there using that thought pattern, because thoughts create feelings. Feelings create actions, and actions produce results. Sound good? Number 3 then is you must have faith to keep the idea growing, or to speed up the process of law of attraction. Law of attraction really provides momentum. That's what it does. It provides momentum, and you're going to speed it up when you add and include faith and emotion into this. Now, faith, one of the best definitions of faith I ever heard was that faith is our ability to see the invisible, right? A clearly formulated image or idea, to see the invisible, to believe in the incredible, and that will permit us to receive what the masses call impossible. Doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. It doesn't matter what anybody else has done. It matters what you have in your mind. It matters what you truly want to express and what you truly want to create here. This is not so much goal achieving as rather goal creation. right? It's goal creation. You're taking your thoughts and your ideas and you're moving them into form, but you're moving them into form by tuning into what it is that you want, because it's already here. Everything you desire is already here. And the universal mind wants you to have that. It wants you to have that. You are so stacked for success that it is not even funny. I was chatting the other day with somebody about how life really isn't fair. We hear in this world of personal development and positive thinking that life is fair. When you think this, you get that. And if you think this, you get that. It's all fair, right? But the truth is that life isn't fair. Life is so stacked in your favor that it is not even funny. A positive idea is at least 10,000 more times powerful than a negative idea. You know this in your life, right? You're having a bad day, things are not going the way you want them to. You just add in a little bit of positivity and everything gets brighter. Everything gets brighter. Add some faith and some belief into this. And so the exercise that I would encourage you to try, it's a really simple one, is to spend 5 minutes just once a day. Spend 5 minutes just once a day in creative visualization. Creative visualization. You see, we're all visualizing things, but we're not all visualizing the things that we want to create. And so that's what creative visualization is to view the things and to actually experience, to simulate, because true visualization is simulation, is to simulate in your mind what it is that you want to experience. And then I want you to see yourself from a first person point of view, you experiencing the end result, experiencing the end result. Now, why don't we visualize, us in the process of doing it? A lot of people ask me that question. Well, do I visualize the end of it happening, or do I visualize the process, or what am I visualizing? Visualize yourself in the end result. Because if you visualize yourself, getting to your goal or in the steps towards your goal, then you will always be moving towards the goal, moving towards the creation. And what we want to do is we want to propel ourselves. We want to create a quantum leap, because you can do this. You can go from one present state, bang, just like that, to a totally different state of consciousness, which creates a totally different state in your physical reality, right? And so visualize yourself from a first person point of view, right? It's just like if you were to have a virtual reality goggle set on and you were moving around throughout and you were actually playing that part out. You were visualizing it. You were in a simulation. That means you've got all the moods right. You've got all the exercises right, all the moves, everything is exactly like it's the real deal. This is happening for you right now. It's here. It is here. It is here. And as you do this, I like to put music on. I put my headphones on in the morning. I sit down and I set a timer for 5 minutes, or I have a song that's 5 minutes long. It's just a nice instrumental piece that I enjoy. And when I sit there, sometimes I'll write out prior to doing this visualization, just what I'm going to visualize, what I'm going to see myself doing, right? Okay, I'm going to see myself here, and then I'm going to drive down there, and I'll see my home that I'm going to be in, and I'm going to see the experiences I'm having, and then I'm going to go here and talk to this person, and then I'm going to be on live and teaching some of my clients, or whatever it is. I'm seeing myself there as I'm doing it, and I'm writing that down prior to visualizing it. So I have a bit of a roadmap when I get on. And then when I get in there, you want to just feel the emotions. Now, there's about 10% of any population that apparently cannot clearly see in their mind. They can't visualize. They don't see the images. And I think that's really just a lack of use of the visualizing faculty, which is your imagination, right? They just haven't strengthened that imagination. Now, that may not be you, but if it is, what you want to do, if that's you, is you just want to feel joy. Just feel joy, just feel fulfillment, just feel excitement for what you have created, right? And just maybe use those thoughts and those words in your mind, but then feel the joy, feel the gratitude for having created what it is that you want to. But then you want to get in there, and I'll take my hands and I'll be like, yes, 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 right? And just really get into that vibration of, yes, it's here. Yes, it is here. I am experiencing this. This is awesome, right? And you're just really ramping up your vibration. You want this to feel good. And all it takes is 5 minutes. It does not have to take you an hour to shift your vibration. I hear people say all the time, I'm working on my vibration. I'm working on my vibration. Stop working on your vibration and just decide. Just get into the right images and the right thought patterns and the right word patterns that are going to create the emotions, right? Don't try. Force never works. Force just negates. Allow yourself to get into that. All it takes is 5 minutes a day. And when the timer is up, you're done. Go move on to other things. And I guarantee you, you're going to start to notice a huge shift in your natural vibration throughout the day. And things are just going to get better and better and better. So I hope you took a lot of value away from this exercise and these 3 steps, right? Having the clearly formulated idea. Number 2 is a word pattern to impress upon your subconscious mind, or other words, your universal mind, universal intelligence. And 3 is faith to keep the idea growing. And you get to a point now where you no longer have to hold on to that idea. You no longer have to nurture the idea. The idea nurtures you. It drives you. It becomes so influential in your life that you don't really have to think about it anymore. It's just who you are. It's your new state of consciousness. It becomes your new state from which you view the world. And as Neville Goddard puts it, he says, you begin to see outer reality shaping itself upon the model of your imagination. This is so cool. This is creative visualization. Take it, apply it, and share your experience with this process, and as well some of the things that you're beginning to create with it.